Hey, g'day, how yous all going? This is Ian Harris from Australia here, your acrylic guru. Now, we've got a beautiful exercise for you today. It is, I'll just pump down here and pick it up. All right, and I'm going to show you how to paint planet Earth in space. And you can also have the moon there. Can you see that? And also, I want you to click the link in the description below to go to the bloopers playlist, because we're gradually building that channel up. And make sure you subscribe to that channel, okay? And it'll be slowly growing. All right, so let's get this happening. So we'll get this board onto our easel like that, double-sided tape so she ain't going to move, all right? And then we'll get into the colours that we're going to use for this project, all right? I'm using Toner Grey Mid, phthalo blue, titanium white, carbon black, or any black, so long as it's black, or you can even use Payne's grey. We're going to have some retarder in this process. I've used a 2-inch brush, a small fan brush for flicking the stars. Now I've made a sponge slash pouncer for the size of the planet I want, and also a plate to cover it the same diameter, and the same with the moon, okay? We have our moon cut out, and the actual cut out piece we're keeping as well. And another sponge. I've got my spray bottle here, my little squirty bottle, and because my canvas board is very dry, I want it wet, because where I want my planet Earth is the only area I'm going to muck around with some white flow paint and some retarder, just to get that all ready. Alright, so I'm going to grab my brush to put it on with. Right, I'm just getting my white flow paint onto my brush with the retarder in there. And I want my planet Earth about here somewhere, right? So I'm just getting that on there where I want to blend the colours, alright? About there. I'm going over the area that I'm going to do. That way I know I've got a lot of area that's not going to get missed. Alright, that wasn't bloody hard, was it, eh? If you just look at that, you'll realise you've got some paint on your canvas. You've just made the first step to success of doing a wonderful painting with me here today, alright? Now, I've got to clean this brush and get the paint ready for the next colours. Alright, now if you come down here on my palette, I'll show you what I'm going to do for the first procedure, alright? Alright, I'll just press the button for that colour. There you go. We've got phthalo blue there with some retarder. Now, I want to mix this up into an area that's going to fill my sponge. So I'm working the area for my sponge, you see. It's not quite enough. Okay, that's the diameter of my sponge, roughly, okay? Now, what we're going to do next is get some white. I'm using titanium white down here. This is important. This is how we're going to get that planet Earth, all right? Now, I'm going to work it out whether to use structured white. Now, I want to sort of put some bits of this just in a random way. I'll wipe that onto that blue paint, you see. This is going to be the clouds. That's pretty much it. All right? Now, you've got your sponge. We want that a bit damp. We don't want it dry, okay? She's nice and damp. Now, what I've got to do is I'm going to put that in there like that, and I'm going to pat it down, all right? I just lift it up. There it is there, okay? So I'll give it a little bit of a twist to really push it into that sponge. Then we're going to come up here to where we put the white flow paint with retarder on it, okay? Look at the sponge there. Now we get that onto the canvas where we want our planet Earth. You'll be doing this on a table sitting down, so it's a bit easier. I've pushed that on there and give it a little bit of a twist. And why I'm giving it a bit of a twist is to make those paints grind into the canvas there. And look at that, we've got the basis of planet Earth. But now I want to dry that so we can detail the planet Earth, okay? Now we're going to get some green paint. I've got sap green here, all right, and I'm going to do some layout, the countries in the planets. Sort of find yourself an image on the computer there, which has some country layouts of the Earth, sort of similar to this, and just sort of dot them in. They don't have to be too perfect, just so long as it references the actual country landmass that you're trying to put in there, okay? So all this is dry, okay? We're coming up there. Leave bits in and out because I'll show you. We're going to sort of get those clouds over this landmass as well. This is just normal paint out of the tube. It's got no retarder in it, this section here. And we're just sort of dabbing around the shape, what we're looking for. I might come around here, like so. Over there. And this will allow us to give us some sort of shape of countries on the Earth there, okay? And now we've got the sap green on there. Now I'm just wiping my brush. I'm getting some mid yellow, and we want to sort of tease this a bit so it's just got some different tones in it. Just sort of, nothing particular, just sort of muck around and tease it like that. Maybe over here a bit, like that. Now wipe that brush, all right? Once you've wiped it, just sort of blend this in, that mid-yellow into that green, just sort of so it looks a bit like that, all right? Bit of detail-y bit. There we go. Not too much, just you want shadows and tones in there, something like that, okay? Now, that country landmass layout is dry. I'm grabbing some more of the phthalo blue, not mixed with retarder. And if anything, I want one side of the blue a bit darker than the other side. So this is optional if you want to do this. So I'm just sort of going to make one side, not to cover up those clouds. I'll put a bit on. I'll wipe my brush just so I can merge that into the other blue there so it's not such a stark transition, okay? This is just going to add a bit more bullshit effect to your painting. Be sure to leave those white hovering clouds there. I'll come down here. I want mainly this edge here darker. Now this is optional for beginners. Advanced painters, you're more than welcome to add more bullshit effect to your painting, alright? And we want this side, if anything, a bit lighter. Just like so. Coming up. Doesn't matter if you go outside your circle because we're going to make that a lot more pristine than what it is later. I'll show you that part. Now wipe your brush, merge that in. Oh, look at that, eh? Now it's important everything gets dried at the right time. Otherwise your paint will be turning into mud. Okay, we've done that. It's dry. Now we're going to add the top layer of clouds and that's it. I'm using two brushes. This one to put the paint on and this one here to blend them, okay? Now it's important this is dry. You've got it blow dried or you let it dry for a day or whatever. Now we're going to use the paint brush to get some of your white and just sort of lace over this like so to give the layer of clouds, okay? Just like so. Don't kill it and use your other brush to blend them in. Okay? So we've got nice soft edges and some middle bits are nice and dark. And at the end of it all, see I've done too much there because everything's dry. I've got to scratch harder. So don't get too far ahead of yourself. Now we'll do a bit more. Want something coming over the landmass here. Just do about that much and then blend them into clouds, okay? Just sort of, they don't have to be too detailed, but just something like that. Just like that. Quickly swap your brush over. But keep them in the circular motion of the planet. And we want some dangling over the country as well. See, if I didn't dry all that green and whatnot, everything will be turning to mud. That's why it's important to dry things. The last thing we're doing now, that's all blended, is get some bits and sort of make a lot brighter than other bits, okay? Don't overkill it here doing this. Different highlighted bits, okay? Have your blending brush in case you make some too blotchy, like that there. And this is just doing the final touch. So some clouds are lighter, some are darker than others, alright? Alright, so we've finished our planet Earth. Now the fun bit is encasing that into black space, okay? So I've got to take it off the easel for that, and I'll show you what we're going to do next. But you need the cutouts of the size of your planet. And if you were smart enough and listening, and you weren't being an idiotic idiot, you would have known to make this a bit bigger in diameter, so as when we black it out, there's not going to be any diculated stupid edges, okay? Because if you put stupid edges in there, it just makes your painting look that little bit stupid in that area, you know what I mean? All right? Okay, now the cutout that I use for the planet, I'm going to keep. I've made a sticky tape handle for it. That is going to sit over the planet, all right? Now, we're going to get a simple household sponge. I want to use a sponge because it's probably quicker than a paintbrush. You can use a brush. I'm dampening it up a bit, dampening the black paint. Over here I'm putting black paint into that sponge, okay? You want to hold this and pull away from the plant, just so nothing bleeds under that cardboard there, okay? Nice and careful. And if you're not careful, you'll stuff it, all right? That's there. Now, this will paint the rest of the canvas. See, that's a lot quicker than a bloody brush, isn't it, eh? Get some more paint on there. Now, I'll take that cover off. That paint's kind of stuck it a bit. But there we go. We have planet Earth in space, all right? I'm just going to fix this up now off camera. Okay, that is all black over the planet Earth, okay? Now you might have a little waggly line there somewhere. If you have, you can get your black brush and detail that at the end, okay? But I'm happy with that. Make sure you dry everything at the right appropriate time, all right? That way things won't muck up and turn to mud and snot. You don't want your painting turning into snot. All right? Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to do the moon, and then we'll get some stars and detail into that space sky, all right? Alrighty. Now, work out where you want your moon. Put it wherever you want. I want mine at about 11 o'clock position, so I'm going to make sure my template's not going to dirty the thing. I want it about there, say. All right? Just sit it there like that. I'm grabbing my kitchen sponge and I'm going to spray it with water so it's going to absorb and move paint easier. I'm going to start off with the white And I'm also down here, I'll just press the button for that. There you go, toner grey mid. Pretty easy, wasn't it? And this one here, I'll just press the button for that one. There you go, titanium white. Anyway, first off, I always get it a bit of white on there first, put the grey toner in there, and then sharpen it up again. Now start sponging your moon on. I only want half. You can do a full moon if you want. If you've got enough money to build a full moon, that's good. All right, that'll do. That's me half moon. Careful. Now I'm grabbing the other side of the sponge. I'm putting my grey toner mid on there. And I want to get my greys in there, coming towards the dark side. Alright. Now, that's it. Any beginners can stop there, alright? But this is a bit of extra bullshit detail. I sometimes grab a bit of black. Alright? On the grey side of the sponge, smear bits in, test it. Oh, a bit blacker. Do it again. Smear bits in, test it. That's it, look at that. And then we just carefully put a bit of blackish detail in there. That's it. That's bullshit effect. And then we're going to go back to the white, and we want to put that real nice, crisp, sharp, bright edge on it, because if anything, I think the sun's coming from this way. Alrighty, let's see if this is going to work. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, pulling this off with something sharp so you're not going to get your big fat ugly fingers in the way. There is our moon. Now what we got to do is grab the offcut of the moon. Okay, we've got our moon on and I've dried it, okay. I'll give it a bit of a dry like that. Now our templates for the cutout of the moon, you want to keep that in certain procedures, because on a job like this, it sits over the top, and this cutout is going to sit back over the planet Earth, alright? Like that. Alright, now down here I'm using a fan brush. It's got some stiffness in the bristles, and I've got my titanium white, and you want it reasonably damp for this procedure of flicking some stars on, because we want quite a few stars on there, alright? Putting some stars in the sky. Give it a bit of a practice run down here so you know what you're doing. We don't want too many thick ones. That'll do it. Alright, so we're going to come over the canvas and we're just going to flick some stars on there. Now while we put that cover over the moon, you don't want stars in front of the moon, alright? And it'll also create the dark side of the moon as well. Get a bit more. And we're creating the dark side of the moon. A lot of these little ones you might not pick up on camera. I just went and flicked a more concentrated line on there. It's just something I like in my arrangement of stars, okay? And then the stars that didn't go on this other side of the moon, you don't want stars there because that's the dark side of the moon. It's a solid object there, so you wouldn't see stars on that. Okay? All right, we'll put this on the easel there. Now, you can pretty much detail those stars as much as you want, all right? But that's pretty much easy enough for a beginner to learn, all right? It's not that difficult. All right, we'll whack a frame on this thing and we'll just see how she looks. I've got a frame down here. See how it looks. There we go. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that little planet Earth in space in acrylic with Ianapolis. Okay? Tell your friends if you like what I do, but tell everybody if you don't, all right? And I do not say onions, I say onyas, but I'll say onya this time. Goodbye, good luck, and good on ya!